Hi, everybody. Hey, sorry it's been a couple of days since I've done some read aloud. I've been working on learning all this new technology stuff, and something had to give. So, kind of get us back to where we were. If you remember, the last time I read aloud, the power had, well, no, Gemma was getting ready to take off and leave, and Ty was helping her get some food and stuff to take with her. And then all of a sudden the power went out and the specter was circling and like making the whole house spin because remember it's like tethered to the ocean floor on these chains, and as the sub is going around and around and around, it is swirling the whole building. Okay. So let's see. Ty had hit the house intercom and had called out to his parents, and his dad had yelled, "Ty, what's going on?" No doubt he'd been shaken awake when the house started moving. In the background, Ma cried, "John, the boundary lamps are out." "The specter is circling us," I told them. "I think the outlaws just shut off the exterior power, but I don't know how." Pa's response was a curse that would have made a miner blush. "Where are you?" His voice cut out, along with every noise in the house and every light. "Ty!" Gemma was only halfway up the stairs. "It's okay. The backup generator would kick on in an instant. Even though it hadn't at the Peavies, it would be different here. This was my home, and I knew how every inch of it operated." But seconds passed, and all I heard were my parents' frantic footsteps on the floor above. Finally, a strip of red emergency lights flickered on around the moon pool, while outside, tiny green lights outlined the struts of the house. My tension eased as I waited for the air purifier's familiar hum to start up. Then I remembered all the emergency lights ran off a battery pack. The backup generator remained as silent as a corpse. Dread sloshed in my gut. It was the same nightmare all over again. Like Lars and Shirl, we were going to lose our livestock, our crops, and our house within 30 minutes. I tore off my t-shirt, tossing it into the changing room as I ran past. "What are you doing?" Gemma leaned over the railing, her face pale in the scant light. I paused below her. "Everything will be okay. The outlaws will steal a few things like they did at Hewitt's, then they'll leave." At least I hoped so anyway. But part of me wondered if I had brought this upon us. Shade had threatened to kill me if I told anyone else about him, and I had. What if he was here for me? "Ty!" Pa shouted from above. "Down here!" I called back. "Go wake Zoe." I told Gemma. "Then lock yourselves in her bedroom. Don't open the door until you hear me on the other side." Without waiting for her reply, I ran to the far side of the room, threw open my gear locker, and grabbed my dive skin. My parents pounded down the stairs, both sealing their dive skins as they squeezed by Gemma, who was finally headed up. "The specter is coming around the starboard side," I told them as I shucked off my sweatpants and stepped into my dive skin. The specter shot by the window on the far side of the wet room, leaving a storm of bubbles in her wake. "They're trying to scare us so we'll stay inside," Pa growled. "They'll probably go for the equipment and supplies in the outer buildings." "What do you want to do?" Ma asked as she holstered her spear gun. "I'll tell you what we're not going to do, and that's give over anything without a fight," Pa vowed. Ma gave a crisp nod as she pulled 2 Liquigen packs from the slots in the wall and tossed one to Pa. When the specter cruised by the closest window, I shrank back. She was circling so tight it seemed like she would shear the acrylic skin right off the house. Somewhere inside that sub was Shade, a realization that sent an icy finger skimming down my spine. Ma handed me a shock prod. "Join the girls upstairs." "No way! I'm as good as a shot as both of you, and I've got sharper water eyes for sure." "Yes, but I mean to see you." Hang on. "Yes, but I need to have you grow to see 16, Ma said in a low, fierce voice. "We need him, Carolyn," Pa cut in. "Guard the moon pool," he told me. "Shoot anything or anyone who tries to surface." Except you, Pa. Pa flashed a wry smile. Except us. Ma caught my arm. If too many are coming in, don't play the hero, especially if one of them is Shade. There's no shame in hiding, you hear me? If it's Shade, I'm taking the shot. Ma didn't argue. She followed Pa into the moon pool, spear gun in hand. As they slipped under the water, a panicky chill spread through me. Soon, sharks would come to feast on the dying livestock. My parents would be facing predators in the dark, both fish and human. But I wasn't helping anybody standing here stiff with fear. I rushed up the stairs to check that the girls were locked in Zoe's bedroom, only to find them hovering at the top of the stairs in white nightgowns and anxious expressions. This is my fault, Gemma whispered. This wouldn't be happening if I hadn't dragged you into the saloon. You went into the saloon? Zoe asked in a voice so loud I flinched. You didn't drag Hewitt into the saloon and they attacked his homestead, I pointed out. If it turned out to be anyone's fault, most likely it would be mine. Go! I waved them back toward the bedrooms. Lock yourselves in. No, Gemma held her jade knife up. I want to help you. Keeping Zoe safe helps me. Zoe gasped in indignation. I can take care of myself. Gemma met my eyes over Zoe's head and nodded in answer to my silent plea. Todd just said that so you wouldn't feel bad, she told Zoe. Really, he wants you to look out for me. I'm the dumb topsider, remember? She put an arm around Zoe and gently tried to steer her back down the hall. Zoe was having none of it and ducked under her arm. I'm coming with you. I want to see an outlaw. Darned it if she didn't sound excited. You'll put Ma and Pa in danger, I whispered angrily. If an outlaw snatches you up, they would die trying to save you. Zoe actually looked frightened at that. I took full advantage of it. Go to your room, bolt the door, and barricade it. As the girls backed down the hall, I heard a splash in the wet room. Uh-oh. What does that mean? Is it Ma and Pa? Or is it Shade? Tune in tomorrow to find out. See you guys.